Alyssa Carson, de tan solo 18 años, que se prepara para ir al planeta Marte. Y también le damos gracias por regalarnos un momento de su tiempo para inspirarnos a seguir nuestros sueños. Gracias, Alyssa.
Have you ever wondered how far away the moon actually is from the Earth? The first thing you need to do to find out is to grab a basketball. This is going to represent the size of our Earth. Next, grab a tennis ball because this is going to represent the size of our moon. And take a second and think about it. How far apart do you think the Earth and the moon would be on this scale? Even comment down below what your guess would be in feet. Now the last thing you're going to need is a string. So basically you're going to wrap the string around the basketball 10 times because the circumference of the Earth is 1/10 of the distance from the Earth to the moon. After you've done that, you can unravel the string and stretch it out, and you might be surprised what you find. Part 2 of acronyms they should probably know, Space Camp Edition. Everything that you see is located in Huntsville, Alabama in the US. Our first acronym is UAT. UAT stands for Underwater Astronaut Trainer, where you can scuba dive and even go down 24 feet. Our second acronym is MOCR, M-O-C-R. MOCR stands for Mission Operations Control Room. It's where you do all your missions at Space Camp from Shuttle, Moon, and Mars. Our third acronym is MMU, which is basically a space jetpack. MMU stands for Man Maneuvering Unit, which is what he has on his back. Although they don't use it anymore, there's a simulator for it at Space Camp. Our fourth acronym is probably the fan favorite of Space Camp, MAT. MAT stands for Multi-Axis Trainer, where you tumble around to simulate a tumble spin. Have you ever wondered why my name is Blueberry? Well, today I'm going to teach you about call signs. So in the military, as a pilot, you could get a call sign based on some funny story, and it would kind of replace your first name. As these pilots started joining the astronaut corps, they kept their call signs, and even some astronauts gained their own call signs. So here's why mine is Blueberry. The second time that I went to Space Camp, I wanted a flight suit just like one of these. However, I ended up with one looking like this. As you can see the difference between the two, this one is a lot darker shade of blue than this one. And so because of this, everyone told me that I looked like a blueberry while wearing this. Even the next time I came to Space Camp, they still called me Blueberry. Hey everybody, today I have a capsule and even a little astronaut named Edgar, and he is going on a mission to Mars, but sadly, he's a little too fat to fit inside. Hear that, Edgar? We're gonna have to get fit. Are you ready, Edgar? If you want to try this experiment out for yourself, all you need is some boiled eggs, a bottle, and a few matches. I have these nature wild berries, and I'm going to put them in my mouth, and they are going to make everything sour all of a sudden taste sweet. So I'm going to start chewing them, and as I'm chewing them, it is glycoproteins actually in the berry that are basically changing all the acidic and sour aspects of my taste buds and turning them sweet. Honestly, it kind of tastes like water. And just so you guys know, the berry is called a ladidi berry, and it is found just naturally in nature. And all of the sensations that happen to your tongue typically last 20 to 40 minutes. Wait, the launch isn't today. This is SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket along with the Crew Dragon capsule that is going to be launching on May 27 to bring astronauts to the International Space Station. This mission is called the Demo 2 mission and is the first time astronauts will be launched from American soil since 2011. This is a huge deal, so make sure that you're watching at 4:33 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. And prepare for blast off.
Here is my normal day. I woke up and fixed myself a glass of iced coffee and made some breakfast. Today was avocado toast with a fried egg on top. After eating my yummy breakfast, I decided to go ahead and get ready, so I picked out my outfit and got dressed. The first thing to tackle today was some chemistry lectures, so I listened to them and tried to understand literally as much as I possibly could. After chemistry, I had to switch into my flight suit because I had a couple of Zoom lectures to knock out today. After the Zooms, I went back to homework and read some of my English that I needed for this week. I then went and got some ice cream, social distance of course. I even got to go swimming, which was an absolute blast, came home, showered, and then played with my dog before heading to bed.
It's lunch day? No, it's launch day! The two astronauts on today's SpaceX launch is Doug Hurley as well as Robert Behnken, and these two astronauts are planning on staying on the ISS between 1 to 3 months. This launch is full of firsts because it is the first time that a private company has sent astronauts to the International Space Station, and we're relaunching from American soil, so tune in at 4:33. Wait, did you know that you can see the International Space Station with your naked eye? The International Space Station is 254 miles above our head. It goes around the Earth every 90 minutes, and it's about the size of an NFL football field. If you want to see if the International Space Station is over your head, go to spotthestation.nasa.gov. You can search your location or even look at the live ISS tracking map. Here is a photo I took of the ISS one night. It is the third brightest object in our sky, so if it's over you, you should be able to see it. And since SpaceX just launched their 2 new astronauts, maybe if you see the ISS, you can give Bob and Doug a quick wave. Here are some cool Mars facts. Mars' atmosphere is 95.32% carbon dioxide. Valles Marineris is Mars' largest canyon and ranges 2,500 miles. That's literally the size of the entire U.S. coast to coast. Olympus Mons is the tallest volcano on Mars at 72,000 feet. That means it's about 2.5 times taller than Mount Everest. Let me know, would you want to go to Mars? Hurricane season just started and the third one is about to hit here in a few hours. Let me show you what they look like from space and how we track them. Here we have Hurricane Florence from 2018, Hurricane Katrina from 2005, and finally the most recent one that should be hitting here in just a few hours. So how do we track all of this from space? Satellites make nuanced detections of cloud formation, rainfall, and microphysics of the hurricanes. A great example of one of these satellites is the new Cyclone Global Navigation Satellite System, which was launched in 2016 for hurricane tracking. Many other satellites are comprised together to make weather forecasts and cause predictions for future weather, but we continue to send up new satellites for better data. Here are 4 quick tips for aspiring astronauts. First is to educate yourself. Here is a list of movies, documentaries, and books that I personally recommend, which you can pause to screenshot. Second is to look in your local area. Talk about your dreams by going to different camps, maybe a museum, or even look at your school for opportunities to get started. Third is to really remember that there are endless possibilities of careers that you can go into, so find what you like the most. Fourth is to never let anyone take your dream away, follow your dreams, and to never think it's impossible, because you can really do this. Let's talk about it. How do you go to the bathroom in space? First of all, there are 2 different systems. One is for number 1, and the second one is for number 2. The system for number 1 is called Mr. Thirsty, and the system for number 2 is called the Target. This tubing system right here is Mr. Thirsty, which is used for number 1. Each astronaut has their own personal cup that they attach to the end to be able to pee in. The vacuum then sucks everything away and sent to a purification system to be reused as water. This is the target, which is used for number 2, which looks more like a traditional toilet. However, there are straps that kind of go around your thighs to keep you connected to the seat, and the hole is much smaller than the normal hole that we're used to. There's even a camera inside to line yourself up, so astronauts do have to train on this. Everything is then used with a vacuum and sucked away. This is a great question. Let's talk about it. So women have their menstrual cycle the same in space as they would here on Earth. For short-term missions, female astronauts will just bring up, tampons or whatever they prefer to use. However, when looking at the International Space Station, they have to be careful which facilities they use because only some facilities can actually handle human blood since most of them trickle into the purification system. However, for long-term missions, staying up on the International Space Station for 6 months, or even looking at a mission to Mars, most female astronauts opt to actually get rid of their period. So they kind of use their preferred method, whether that is the pill, the IUD, or some other method, but most females just choose to get rid of it. A fun fact is, Sally Ride, the first female American to fly to space, was offered 100 tampons by engineers to supply her for her 1-week mission. Last summer, I got my private pilot's license, and this is how it went. So I got my first rating, which is your VFR rating. VFR stands for Visual Flight Rules, which basically means I can fly when the weather's good and when there's no clouds. However, if you choose to continue, you can get your instrument rating or even go all the way up to commercial. I had a whole lot of fun flying a Cessna, which is a high-wing plane. Although I did have some training with the low wing, the high wing was definitely my favorite.